should we move on to our next speaker, Rachel?
Yes, please.
Sure. It's just, you have to excuse me, my throat is not so good. I was not keeping too well, but we wanted to continue with this session. So our next speaker is, let me just quickly check our next speaker. Professor Prodhan from Bangladesh. So do we have Professor Prodhan here with us today?
Yes, I'm right here.
Oh, wonderful. Great to have you here. All right. So we know that you will be sharing with us about the strategies that successfully empower women in conflict resolution. So we look forward to hearing from you on this topic.
Thank you very much, dear Makshi and my dear Rachel, for having me on this forum. And today we all come together to reflect on this peace and conflict resolution. So I think the way Rachel shared on that war things, how many countries we are suffering, and especially on to highlight few points here, like torturing kids and any kind of conflict nation-wise when we are having and going for genocide and killing women and kids, it doesn't make any sense. So I think any nation and global leaders should find a way how not to put women and children into this kind of situations. I don't know what we all are doing. Still, we all are talking about this. Still, this is happening. It's ongoing process, and the whole world is seeing it. So, how we gonna build a better world, better nation without women and children? And children, I mean, just think they don't know anything yet. So yeah, I'm very happy that we have this beautiful forum to reflect on all these core issues. So as I'm gonna and greetings to all the beautiful, amazing panelists of today's forum. So today I'm gonna reflect on the strategies, how that successfully empowered women in conflict resolution. And the peace activist or all kind of work that we all are doing, you will see the conflict situation often force women to organize themselves in order to safeguard. It's just natural way of women. That's how they have been built by the God. They just have this quality and capacity to and basic that empathy, softness, love, nurturing, caring, all this make a woman so powerful to dig deeper from the root instead of seeing things from the surface. And they can really touch emotionally, and the empathy they have, naturally they hold, it kind of add values to the system in a high way. So necessities and to carry out activities related to education, healthcare, food distribution, and care for family, which we all actually know. We don't need to address it. We know without our mother, without our elders, we wouldn't be so good whatever we are doing today. And to flourish in our own department, own area, by the support of our mother or any mother figure that we have in our life. So internally, I think displaced persons and refugees, if you see here I want to delve into this successful empowered journey on women in conflict resolution, how women's participation in conflict, prevention and the resolution has advanced U.S. interest. Let's have a look on this. The case for women's participation in security. Despite the historical exclusion of women from negotiating tables and security apparatuses, so the evidence of women's contributions to conflict prevention and resolution is growing. So several empirical analysis confirms that women offer unique, substantive, and measurable contribution to securing and keeping pace no matter what. It just in their system. So evidence shows that security efforts are more successful and sustainable when women contribute to prevent and early warning, peacemaking, peacekeeping, and post-conflict resolution and rebuilding system. And a qualitative evaluation of women's influence in recent peace process, notably one address Guatemala in 1996, Netherlands 1998, Liberia 2003, and the Philippines 2014. So further illustrates the critical role that women can play in resolving conflict and promoting stability through peace is very obvious that we should not ignore them for any kind of forum that we are forming and want to grow towards that growth. So, and another point here, I would like to address the Johura Tajuddin, the late First Lady of Bangladesh and the leader of the largest grassroots democratic political party. During the 71 liberation, she definitely did her part to support her husband. But after the coup that happened, so when the movement leadership had been killed and scattered from the system, members sought for unifying voice and determining after much deliberation that Johura Tajuddin would be the one to unify all party fractions for that time and take on that military dictatorship leadership on general people that had come to a power. So as the first major female leader in Bangladesh, and as a single mother of 4 children who had just lost her husband, she was as tough on the dictatorship, taking to the streets, traveling to the remote dirt roads and villages, as she was compassionate as a mother and caring figure sheltering the voiceless masses, and as a host, adeptly conducting all the high level of political meetings at that broken, scattered situation at her home to give the direction to the nation. So this is something very powerful sign we can see coming from a mother, from a woman. So I believe she led towards peace and conflict resolution in Bangladesh in a way that her womanhood become an asset during that unique historical moment of Bangladesh after that coup happened. And she's she's the grandmother of my husband, so it's like I take great pride in this and sharing in this forum for everyone. So it has nothing to do with the way Deepthi also mentioned what kind of education we need. So see, back then my grandmom, they did not have the PhD or degree to go to big school and college. What education they had to learn from practical life, and how high level meetings, political meetings, public mindset, how to understand their psychology, geographical change, how they used to learn and was capable of leading the pack with that passion and love and that wisdom. It's so commendable. So I think having that awareness of our mind and opening towards the truth and genuine knowledge is so powerful sometimes. And for example, if you see Queen Elizabeth, as a princess, she was never taught or trained to pursue education and all. All day, she was taught to how to sit, how to present her physical body language, to be a presentable bride or someone nice. But look, the situation and the time took her into something else where she has to lead the nation and look for all the necessary area which she never thought of. So I think education is really an integral part of any human being, whether it's a boy or a girl, and it should provide that equal acceptance, equal support, equal guidance for boys and girls, and they must have education. Still, I think apart from the metro town, or if we go village out of this rural area, you'll see there is a discrimination for girls pursuing their higher education or maybe the education. Here, I think every nation should come together and emphasize on that you should not put any limitation for pursuing education. It should be right there, just basic fundamental right of a human being. And apart from this, how we can enrich our mind and our people to understand the power of their own mind, and take control, take responsibility for their learning, what they're doing, and everything. And as a warning sign out of that research, suggests that women can improve the efficacy of conflict prevention and early warning strategies. Women's central roles in many families and communities afford them unique kind of vantage point to recognize unusual patterns of behavior and signs of impending conflicts, such as armed mobilization and weapons coaching. So in Kosovo, for example, women were the first in their communities to voice concerns when young men were amazing weapons and heading into the local hills and training. So although Kosovo women reported signs of that impending confidence, also indicates that incorporating women in strategies to counter the violent extremism can help to mitigate radicalization or any kind of disaster to happen in that particular department of the nation. So I think traditionally efforts by governments and non-governmental organizations to combat all this typically focus on reaching out to political or religious leaders. You'll see all this. We still have those stigma to put bar on women, how far they should go or what they should be doing or no. So these are the few things. If we can overcome, I think we can have a very balanced world, because without 50% of women, pretty much, I think the globally we have, so depriving them to take part into the important issues, we cannot hope or dream to achieve a better world and nation. So another point here I would like to address is, so the peacekeeping idea that we all have and we all are fighting globally, and the war, the way it's happening, Palestine, Ukraine, a few more other countries Rachel mentioned, what we can do, how we can actually stop this, that could be a big concern, that we all are doing everything in our capacity from our place, but still it's a matter of that global leaders who are sitting on that power. It depends on them to take care of the situation and to get into the rooted problem instead of creating this mass war and bombing to people, shedding blood all over. So let's focus on peacekeeping and how we can overcome all this instead of killing each other. And evidence suggests that women make unique and I think sustainability contributions that improve that effectiveness of peacemaking operation, even United Nations. So assessments by them have found that women peacekeepers are fully able to perform the same roles to the same standards as their male counterparts are doing. So even in hardship posts, when women do participate, research shows that they gain access to information that male counterparts often cannot obtain due to the lack of that emotional intelligence and that softness and the empathetic nature of women. God created them with such a nourishing mindset and heart, soul, so everything they put out there. And as I said, so particularly in traditional culture, female security sector officials frequently have access to the populations and venues that are close to men, and which allows them to gather intelligence about potential security risks, which is very important for any nation into this world. So female officers are also better able to respond to concern about women's physical safety, which protects the women rights in every section. And data from 39 countries demonstrate that women are more likely to report instances of gender-based violence to female officers, a finding anecdotally supported for police, military, and peacekeeping personnel. So women participation in the security sector also very measurable improves dispute resolution. Research indicates that women in police force are less likely than male. So the past, as I said, House strategy has proved that women has played tremendous role in conflict resolution, peace and conflict resolution improvement. We can say this. It's now what we can do based on these results, based on our survey and these studies. We must keep women into all this major forum and table. They should have chair in every kind of forum nationally and government-wise. I think it's very important where they can acknowledge all these minor issues which we try to ignore as a man, and it's gonna always help to bring that better exposure and that issues to protect for the future and especially for the youth of the nation. So potential critics that we all already know, I think skeptical foreign policy and national security experts question and involving new actors or performer talent for this specific part to do their study and find it out how much we need to empower our women to take those places for better world and empowering all these people that we have. So my final take will be on this, that women are God gifted. They are naturally very strong and powerful with mental and emotional health than men. So these are the area where we should take care of our women and we should empower and support them to go ahead and take those big responsibility to support our system, our community, our nation, and the world. So on that note, I would like to end my speech and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Professor Faiza. Your message stands out as a beacon of inspiration, innovation, and transformation. And I know I wanted to share with everyone that Professor Faiza is an accomplished author. Her writings have adorned the pages of Daily Observer, Bangladesh, Eminent English Daily. Through her writings, she consistently conveys the message of wellness and empowerment, a testament to her passion for positive change. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me today.
Yeah. So moving on, our